Former President Carter, as we mentioned, passed away at his home in Georgia. The Carter Institute said he was surrounded by his family at the very end. Our political reporter Dariel Fair has you covered on how one Wisconsin man is preserving the former president's legacy through antiques.
There's been an outpouring of commemoration and remembrance for former President Jimmy Carter, and that news has been felt here across the state, especially for one Wisconsin student who now holds an interesting piece of Carter's legacy.
Kind of gives a glimpse into the past and what people were worried about, what people desired into a presidency. My collection, well, certainly not the largest, is a good representation.
Caden Mayer, a student at UW-Platteville, has a collection of more than 500 Jimmy Carter pins, a small historical archive that sits in his basement. The hobby, he says, begins when his aunt first introduced him to antiques as a child.
I kind of wanted to give kind of a tribute and my nod to how much progress Jimmy Carter made in his presidency. So I got an old banner from my sister's graduation party and started pinning on buttons to it.
His collection shortly growing over time. Caden's mom, Kathy Mayer, says his passion for history started when he was young.
Caden, ever since he was probably, I guess, maybe early middle school or even the end of elementary school, loved to read any kind of history book he could get his hands on. The collection that my sons, collected throughout the last few years, it's a treasure.
Former President Jimmy Carter and the First Lady were the longest married presidential couple in U.S. history, with Rosalynn Carter's passing in November 2023. Carter was the only former president to live to see 100 years old. Former President Jimmy Carter's official state funeral will be held on January 9th, the same day as a national day of mourning announced by President Joe Biden on the day of his passing. In Madison, I'm Dariel Fair.